Gentlemen, top of the morning. Welcome back to the Alexander & Co. Grooming Experience. NBA season's in live effect.
Yes, sir.
So clearly Randall's not here. He had a crazy take, and we get the receipts up. We get the receipts up. He says Klay has nothing left in the tank. Klay Thompson. Dallas, what do you guys think?
What's your vibe?
Well, you know that I'm a Golden State fan, and
Golden State or Klay fan?
I'm a Golden
And
State
don't get too introspective,
and
okay?
Klay
Don't get too
fan.
introspective.
Listen,
I'm listening.
you can check the tape. I said that if he wasn't as handsome as he was, he would get more respect for the things that he does. And he is, and always will be, one of the greatest NBA players of all time.
Shooters or players?
Players. He could guard 1 to 4. He could shoot lights out. His offensive efficiency in his heyday doesn't need the ball to be in his hand for a long time to get his shots up.
We agree the heyday is gone though.
That heyday is gone,
Okay.
but the question is, what can he do now? I think that he's playing better than he would play in Golden State, and that hurts me to say that.
But his numbers are down.
Well,
He's
they're
down by
going-
4.5 points.
They're going to be down.
He's shooting less.
Okay, so let's look at it this way, right? It worked out for both sides because Klay needed a fresh start, right? And when he was in Golden State, he was still they're still seen as the Splash Brothers, right? There's still a lot of pressure there for him to be, you know, the Robin to Steph's Batman. So I think now where he's in a situation in Dallas where you have 2 guys that are ball handlers, 2 guys that are creators, 2 guys that are closers, he's in that third, you know, third position, role where all his only responsibility is to space the floor. And after 2 major injuries, you're not the same Klay. Like, you're not that Klay that's in his heyday. So now he's just out there to make shots, space the floor, slash, and cut, and there's not as much responsibility on his shoulders. So in terms of, you know, this situation for him, I think it was perfect, and it worked out for Golden State as well.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I think Klay's very emotional. We can tell that, right? And he'll get up for certain games. Right? For example, the Golden State game, he'll get up for it, but his job is to hit that open shot, and he's not as consistent as he used to be, which is why we're saying he's not in his heyday. So I don't know, bro. I feel like I like Dallas, and as you said, I love the fact that it's a fresh start. Is it gonna sustain? He has to hit these open shots, and I'm not seeing it.
but this isn't a piece that you're going to get. These guys went to the Western Conference Finals.
Yes.
You're not, the finals. You're not going to get this guy and he's going to put you over the hump. It's not the guy. And I mean, what made him effective, he was one of the best 2-way players on the planet at the time.
Right.
You know, that's made him effective. The shot's the shot. But he's locking down whoever he's got.
And that time's gone.
And
too.
that's what separated him from everybody else.
Yes, but I kind of think that those days are done. And, you know, they got experience in Kyrie, but he's more philosophical and zen, like, to get, you know, that elder statesman in the locker room to take the team through the fire. So I think this is more of a let's get a championship guy in here who can really tell our team what it's gonna take to make it through that next level.
So you think Klay is going to be that locker room guy?
I hope so, otherwise.
I don't trust a guy who's doing Michael Jackson moves on a sailboat. in the Old Spice sailor guy's hat.
You might be onto something.
Yeah.
But to your point, he's won championships.
Yes.
So you're hoping that he brings that championship pedigree in the locker room. And let's face it, if Klay doesn't shoot the basketball at a high clip for the entire year, and the Dallas Mavericks need him in the playoffs, and he makes the right shots then, because he's been in this situation before, he's still done his job, right? And I think he's still fighting to, you know, scratching and clawing to get that feeling of, or get to that place of who Klay was 4 or 5 years ago.
But he's
he's not going to be there with age, with injuries.
Everybody gets fired though. Who cares? You're still a multi-billionaire. It's fine. I'm making $26 million a year. Listen, I will go to Beirut and play. Anyways, listen.
Okay, Pac-Man. All right.
So Lakers, JJ Redick, the guy's doing a great job. And I was saying he's going to be out by January. And right now it's egg on my face. What do you guys think?
Honestly, he's incredible. I think he's bringing the best out of the players. The players are buying in. The whole team now is locked in. And even when he kind of reprimands a player, such as D'Lo puts him on the bench, there doesn't seem to be dissension because he explains it properly, and it's like there's accountability on his part.
Well, I think it's a bit of both. I think LeBron has to buy in. If he doesn't make that transition, if LeBron doesn't say, okay, I'm gonna trust you, I think it really hurts his legacy. And so, yes, Redick is more prepared, you can tell. Like, he's very, very, very precise and thoughtful and so on and so forth, and it is looking good. But overall, I don't think it's gonna win them another playoff series.
To your point, he's a fresh voice, and you're right, he's very prepared. And when you're dealing with players at that level, remember, you have two of the best individual talents in the league right now, in LeBron and AD. You've got to have 2 or 3 answers to every question, right? And I feel like JJ does have that.
The team is still flawed, right? As a whole team, right? They're still not deep and all that, but I think as a coaching staff, like, he's assembled the right people around him. And yeah, I think he's going to be in the running for Coach of the Year for sure.
And guys respect the resume. There's no way LeBron's doing a podcast with Darvin Ham. There's no chance in hell.
Right.
Not happening. So these guys got to respect everything LeBron does. Like, they see the work he puts in every single day. And if LeBron's gonna listen to this guy, guys respect the resume, right? So with this coach doing amazing in the West, Doc Rivers is the 3rd coach for the Milwaukee Bucks in the last 3 years.
Right.
Nick Nurse, ex-Raptors coach, not doing too well. Which is the worst situation to be in, or worst team out of the two?
It's got to go to the Bucks. The Bucks are a disaster. First and foremost, I think that Glenford or Glenroy Rivers,
Spoken like a true Jamaican man. Yes, sir.
Is got to be the most overrated coach in the NBA. His playoff record is abysmal. Even that Celtics championship, he would call plays, even the final play where Pierce just
Waved him off.
Just
Him and Rondo.
we're not doing that. This is what we're gonna do to win the game. It's those subtle things that, clearly demonstrates that he is what I would call overrated. Bucks are old. They have no perimeter defense. They have their superstar player who's not interested. Like, you can tell he's playing to not be there, and that's the vibe I get. I think Doc is in trouble, but so many coaching contracts on the books may preserve his stint, because to have 4 coaches on the payroll and hire a 5th is really weird.
Listen, the entire Milwaukee Bucks situation is a complete tire fire right now. Like, let's really think about this, and it goes far beyond Doc or Glenford. Like, you look at this team, and none of the guys look interested to play right now. And I think the disappointing factor for me is they still look disorganized. It looks like 5 guys that just met at the airport, that just met at the bus, or just met at the arena, and you toss the ball up and saying play. And all this chemistry between, or what we thought would have been between Dame and Giannis, it could be the perfect duo, the perfect pairing, they're gonna complement each other. We have not seen that. I put it on the coaching staff, but also Giannis, and even more so, the front office.
Right. Yeah, no, 100%. I feel like when it comes to Coach Rivers, his career just had to fold it up like a roti and ship that out. Like, that's it. Like, you hear some of these comments, and it's like, well, it's up to the coach, or the coach didn't want me to do that. So it's that accountability going back to Redick, where we were saying they were bought in, and I feel like with Rivers, his voice is being lost, and then you have Ham. The 2 of them just sit on the sideline, and you're watching these guys. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, all you realize you're losing. You realize you're losing. What are you doing?
If I am the owner of the Milwaukee Bucks, Mr. Conville, you're hired as a new head coach. He's got the job? He's got it. It's not hard to get that job over Glenn. I'll give it to you.
Look, if your center is a rapper, I think there's a chance.
Wow.
But if
on that note, listen, I gotta get this haircut.
I find you taking long. My hair growing long enough.
No.